What is up, guys? Del Boy here. So Joyce predictably knocks out Donnie Palmer in one round. He really did make short work of Donnie Palmer. Essentially, Joyce comes out. He's the lighter on his feet out of the two. He's bouncing. He's moving around. He immediately gets on his jab. Throws a couple of good jabs. You know, they hit the target. Donnie Palmer tries to let go of his hands himself, but he gets caught with a nice right hand from Joyce. Also, Joyce follows up with a few body shots. Joyce then gets out of range and resets, and he jabs at the body from range, comes inside. Donnie Palmer throws a terrible jab, and Joyce comes over the top of it with a lovely right hand counter bang on the chin that drops Palmer. About 26 seconds into the first round, Palmer gets dropped heavily. He just about makes it to his feet, but he's unsteady and he was in no position to continue. It was a good shot from Joyce. It was well timed, but Donnie Palmer was terrible. He was awful. He looked in bad shape. He was 6'10". He's a big old lump, but he was in terrible shape, and he looked awful, to be completely honest with you. But Joyce, he did do what he had to do. He got him out of there in quick time fashion, and he's staying active, and that's the main thing. They was talking about the Chisora fight next. I mean, if they could get that fight on the undercard of David Haye versus Tony Bellew 2, that'd be a great fight for Joyce. I don't think there's any point sort of messing around and holding back with Joyce, because he's 32 years old. He's not a young pup, as they say. So, listen, if that's the route they want to go down next, the Chisora fight, I think that makes a lot of sense. I think it'd gel quite well stylistically. Joyce he's a high output fighter, and Chisora coming forward, it could make for a good fight. Although I feel Chisora is way past his best, I still think he'd give Joyce some much needed rounds, and he'd sort of teach him a thing or two. So I can see the value in a Chisora fight for Joyce. Now, let's say that David Haye couldn't get Chisora in the ring with Joyce next. Who would you put him in there with? Do you have any sort of ideas? Any fighters that could fight Joyce in his next fight in May? If it's not Chisora, I wouldn't mind somebody like Andre Rudenko or Robert Helenius. Somebody like that. I wouldn't mind that. I would have no issue with that. Eric Molina. Arthur Spielker, Alexander Ustinov, people like this. I think these are the people Joyce should be fighting in his next fight. I think there's no point messing around. There's no point holding back. Let's put him in there with somebody with a pulse, somebody who can show us what Joyce has. In his next fight, I'd like a bit of a step up. He fought Ian Lewis in his first fight. Again, that's a really good debut fight. After that, he fought Josic and he fought Donnie Palmer. Both of those guys had winning records, but they was terrible. In his next fight, I feel that Joyce needs to have a little bit of a step-up fight. And I know that sounds weird saying that, considering it's only his fourth fight, but like I said, he is 32 years old with a decent amateur pedigree, also with WSB experience as well. So I think he's more than ready for it to fight fringe-level guys. And, they're the type of guys I would like to see him in the ring with next. What did you guys make of Joyce's performance? And who would you like to see him fight next? Peace.